service I got from Stadia. Ross, you're picking up Amazon Luna, right?
Oh yeah, I've already got early access to it. I'm just dying to jump into there and be disappointed.
Perrin, I know you loved Stadia, and it was the best gaming experience of a lifetime for you. It changed your life. Luna, is it your next love in your gaming life?
WTF is Luna? I've never even heard of it.
This podcast is sponsored by Restream. Why live stream to one platform when you can simultaneously live stream to every platform to discover new audiences faster using Restream.io?
Your daily drop on gaming, live streaming, and social media today is: what is Amazon Luna and how is it going to disappoint us all? AWOL, you brought this to our attention late last night. You were just so excited about it. You called us. You were just beside yourself. It was really. I've never seen anyone so excited about anything like you are about cloud-based gaming.
Cloud gaming, it's going to be so exciting. I was excited when Google Stadia announced, this new 4K service. You're going to be playing on your controller, on your TV, all devices, the ads, everything they promised was so incredible. I bought Founders Edition for Google Stadia, and then I plugged it in, and then it didn't work. I was playing at about 10 frames per second on Destiny 2 with a 700 megabytes download internet connection wired into my Chromecast Ultra, and it played like hot garbage. And then I realized that cloud-based gaming services aren't necessarily quite as exciting as we had all hoped. But guess what? It doesn't matter if Google Stadia didn't work out. Your boy Jeff Bezos with Amazon, I'm going to pull up the screen right now. Your boy Jeff Bezos with Amazon, he has got Luna up and running for you. Perrin, can you run us through this Luna landing page here on Amazon and just tell everybody what the heck is Amazon Luna, the new cloud-based gaming service that's going to change the world? Perrin, sell me on this product.
Oh, I actually don't know anything about this product, but we're going to find out here live.
Play the video.
We'll play the commercial does not really show anything. It shows a girl running around a lot. I mean, it shows a gamer running around more than any gamer has run around in the year 2020 in its entirety. But you can basically play, at least what it's trying to communicate is you can play from any device. You can play.
Can you turn the audio off from the video so we don't get destroyed?
Yeah. So
you can just turn. You can just mute the audio on that video, please, and you can continue to play the video. Thank you.
So you don't have to. It says you don't have to like download the game. You can just like play from anywhere. We know this is how cloud-based gaming is supposed to work. The problem is, what's the latency, and you have to obviously have a good internet connection. But what's like the actual in-game latency? What's the time delay between your input in the controller and the fire of your gun in the FPS game you're playing? It's cool that you can play anywhere from any device, as this commercial is, attempting to show. But where are you in location to the servers that you're getting this game data from? And that's like the ultimate question mark of how this is going to work out. So if we scroll down here, one of the cool things that's different though is the game libraries. You don't have to like buy all of these games. So this would be a good way if you don't have a huge budget as a gamer to acquire some games. And they've started with an initial deal with Ubisoft. So if you buy Luna for $5.99 a month, you would get to play, assumedly, most Ubisoft titles for free with that subscription through this service. That would be kind of a cool deal. I mean, what do you guys think here?
I think, I actually like that a little bit. I think that's kind of, I would have liked to have seen Stadia have tried that. Not that it would have made any difference whatsoever, but that concept of being able to work with a publisher or a developer exclusively, kind of, I don't know. It's a different touch. It's kind of a neat touch. I think. I don't think it's going to work, but it's neat.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to work either, but it's better than the offering that Stadia had. So with Stadia, what's so problematic about that offering is you have to pay for this. Well, you can get it for free if you want to play 1080p, but you have to pay if you want to get 4K. And then the pro subscription that you pay for also gives you some games, but their game offering is hot garbage. So you're essentially paying $9.99 for basically nothing. essentially, like nothing of actual value. So what I like about this service is that you don't have to pay $9.99 a month. It's only $5.99. And so they've really reduced the price there of the actual subscription, which is cool. That's fine. And they aren't promising 4K games right out the gate because they know they can't deliver that. That's one of the things that was a huge mistake about Google Stadia is they advertised 4K, and then you tried it, and they were even advertising Destiny 2 as being a 4K title. And then I booted up Destiny. I'm like, yay, this is 4K. And then I looked at it, I'm squinting, and it wasn't 4K at all. So I like that they aren't advertising this as 4K. It's only 1080p out the gate. And then I think it's interesting to have the publisher and developer-based subscription model. It's not quite as good as something like Microsoft xCloud. It's not quite as good as something like, Xbox Game Pass, but it's halfway in between. So what I want to ask you guys is, so as you can see, they have this, they're going to test out this Ubisoft package, right? You subscribe to the Ubisoft package. Ubisoft is going to offer some number of games, probably not all of their games, but some number of games as a part of this service. Does that even make sense, though? That's the question I want to ask, because game developers make games across a number of different genres to diversify their company. If you're a gamer, generally you only like playing a certain type of genre or genres, and then you're going to stick to those genres. You aren't necessarily sticking to a developer. You know what I mean? So like gamers don't buy games based on the developer. They buy them based on the genre or the actual games themselves. So it seems kind of like a fallacy to put a subscription-based service based on the developer, because ultimately gamers really don't give a shit about that at all. I mean, am I wrong here?
No. Well, first of all, I don't know what the obsession with cloud-based gaming that Ubisoft has, because I remember back when Stadia came out, they were all, Assassin's Creed. What was it? Assassin's Creed Odyssey's got to be on there. Like, you can go play Assassin's Creed. Like, that was the big selling pitch for the Stadia. So I don't know what the fascination with cloud-based gaming is for Ubisoft, but you're absolutely right. It's going to be a very niche audience because it is a type of gameplay that people, and I use the word, they worship, quote unquote, or that's what they like. But Ubisoft and the developers and these publishers, they're not limited to one style of play. So I don't understand. So I don't necessarily, I think it's a cool idea, but I don't think it's going to work just because it's so niche. You have to have hardcore fans of that developer. And like you said, I don't know how many hardcore developer fans there are out there.
One I can think of offhand that fits that is Blizzard. Generally speaking,
yes, Blizzard is a good example.
Blizzard fans tend to play other Blizzard games. And I think because of that kind of like community-ness that they have, other developers think that they have that too. They don't, though. Like Ubisoft being probably one of them. I think Ubisoft thinks of themselves as they are like Blizzard. Our gamers like to play all Ubisoft games. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true at all. I think Blizzard is kind of like they were there because Blizzard was a really high quality developer, and so a lot of gamers trusted them for a very long time and only played Blizzard games. But I don't think that's the case any longer. I want to get to something here. Can this concept ever even work out? Because they're fighting in my mind, they're fighting two competing concepts. When you get into cloud-based gaming, there's two things at play here. There is, we want ease of accessibility, right? We want games to be accessible. We want gamers to just be able to turn on a screen, turn on their phone, and to start playing a game, right? But how can you do that while also you have to have an amazing internet connection for this to work? Like clearly you do, because you're downloading game data in real time. So those two things are at odds with each other, because accessibility normally comes with terrible connections or worse connections, because you tend to be in different locations where there's a less good connection, or you just tend to not have a great internet connection because you're trying to access gamers who aren't necessarily hardcore gamers or hardcore like PC enthusiasts, so they don't have an amazing internet connection. So is this even possible ever to do until internet connections become, cheaper and more and then those become more accessible to consumers? Because without that, this concept doesn't work for me at all, really.
Perrin, please please go back to playing the video on the landing page. I want everybody to see how epic this gamer is, just so they can understand why we're talking about this. Just keep playing that video over and over again. There we go. All right, I'm going to pull it back up there. Oh, thank you. I just wanted to watch her. Okay, so is this epic gamer that we see in the video right here an actual market that truly exists? I think that's kind of the question that you're going after here, right? Like, is there the gamer that wants to play all these games and also has a killer internet connection and can't afford an Xbox, a PlayStation 5, and an insane PC that is also wanting this? It seems like a crazy niche market that only the most athletic and good-looking women gamers who play on CRT monitors at the bowling alley are going to be interested in. I understand the concept of having a world where gaming is everywhere. And this marketing material is trying to show that. Whether you're playing with your friends at the bowling alley, I guess kids still do that. Whether you're in Times Square, whether you're running through your neighborhood, whether you're in your bedroom, the games will be there everywhere for you in your entire life. I mean, you can even play on one of the big screens in the middle of Times Square on a couch with your best friend, as this ad can show you. So the accessibility of everywhere is a really cool concept, and it's something that is the future of gaming. It definitely is. But I don't think it's a selling point today in 2020. I think that's where the big mistake is. Yes, the industry is going this direction, and yes, people will be able to play everywhere, but combining all of these different platforms into one is actually a fallacy. Those platforms already all exist in separate locations. We already have App Store, we already have Google Play Store that dominates mobile. And all of the highest quality mobile gaming titles that are optimized specifically for mobile already exist on your phone. And those games are a $10 billion industry. The reason why mobile games aren't as good as AAA games, and the reason why they're developed to be that way, is because people's internet connections aren't that good. And so that's why these games are not super real time. We just started getting some real time shooters that are popular, like Call of Duty Mobile and like PUBG Mobile on your phone. But for the most part, mobile games are not designed for real-time interaction because people's internet connections are bad. And mobile developers realize that because they've dropped millions of dollars developing mobile games. You can't play Destiny 2 on your phone and have it be good. You just can't. Technology isn't there yet. Maybe in 10 years from now, 20 years from now, when 5G connections are abundantly available all over the United States and we have that level of data, then we can look at playing AAA games on our phones. But I think even in that scenario, even in that future, games will have progressed so far beyond that. We're going to be at 8K gaming and 16K gaming and virtual reality gaming so far down the road that the connections on your mobile devices and around the world will only be able to do 1080p effectively in 10 years from now. And the industry will have gone way farther than that. And so I think having separate markets, separate developers for separate platforms right now makes the most sense. And these companies, I think, are really early. I think something like Luna is like 10 years early. They're just way too early. Same thing with Google Stadia. I think we're going to be doing Digital Drop podcast. We're all going to be grayer. We're all going to be balder. And in 10 years from now, we'll look back at the predecessors of the successful platforms of the future, and we'll say, remember when Amazon tried this and Google tried this and it didn't work out? Well, now it's working out because technology has caught up. And so Amazon, this is going to go bankrupt. Google Stadia is going to go bankrupt, and anyone that tries to do a standalone cloud gaming service is going to go bankrupt. The only ones that are actually going to work are ones that are an add-on service on top of the existing ones, such as, and we were talking about this before the show, such as xCloud being added on top of Xbox Game Pass, on top of your PC, on top of your Xbox itself, as a way to enhance the existing gaming ecosystem and existing experience rather than being the entire experience. We're not ready technologically for that, and these companies don't realize that. They're arrogant, they're egotistical, and they think they can pull this shit off out of nowhere without developing any new technology at all to facilitate it. Bezos needs to drop like $1 trillion in internet infrastructure around the world to make this concept work. It's just ridiculous, in my opinion.
Immediately when you guys posted this topic to me this morning, I laughed. I think my response was like a facepalm emoji, because why would you copy a failed strategy from a different, mega company? So Google did this. Stadia clearly a failure. And maybe we should talk about why it failed. I don't know how much we want to get into why it failed, but I mean, I think it's clear to say it was a failure. I mean, let's take a look and see. It depends, I guess, on what you measure that by. But if we're looking at the app here on the Google Play Store, Google Stadia, and you have to use the mobile app for this, right? I actually have not done Stadia, but and if you come down here, it has 1 million plus installs. Okay. You know, is that successful to you guys? 1 million plus installs for a Google product?
Well, that's 1 million people have ever attempted on that particular ecosystem, have ever attempted to install it. And so that's not a successful launch. Given that that number is massively inflated because they did the free weekends, and they also did the Verizon integration, and they did all these other freebies to boost that number up. And when you look at the actual server populations on the games that you're trying to play on Google Stadia, you can't even get matchmaking even on games like Destiny 2 and what have you, which is the flagship game. So this number should be millions, plural. And the number of people actually playing on Google Stadia, it should be hundreds of thousands at any given point for it to be a successful launch. And that would make it a small, teeny weeny little gaming platform if it had hundreds of thousands of players playing at any given moment. But right now it has like tens of thousands, if not single digit thousands playing on the entire service right now. There's been a number of speculation videos that have done the numbers on that. And it's not even a small gaming service, Google Stadia. It's like a almost non-existent service. And there's a small, tiny, niche, hardcore community that loves Stadia, that's on the Stadia subreddit, that believes in cloud gaming. They have great experiences. There's only like a couple thousand hardcore fans for this platform. They don't need a couple thousand hardcore fans. They need 1 million hardcore fans for this to even begin to get off the ground and begin to compete with the likes of PlayStation and Xbox and Switch. So it's just minuscule. Google's going to kill Google Stadia with fire. Definitely. I don't think that there's any chance it's going to stick around. Google knows when to cut their losses, and they're losing money on Google Stadia every single month. And they have no chance to compete. And Amazon Luna, I think, is going to have a similar experience unless they're able to do something innovative and new. And so what could be interesting about Amazon Luna versus Google Stadia, Google Stadia promised that they would integrate Stadia into YouTube, and they would use the power of YouTube to promote Google Stadia. They never did that. Huge missed opportunity. That was the most exciting thing about Stadia for me. Amazon.
Do you think?
Yeah, go ahead, Ross.
No, I was going to say, do you think it was a missed opportunity? Do you think that they saw what was happening with the Stadia launch and they just kind of had to chalk it up like, okay, we can't tag YouTube's name onto this because it's just not going to work?
I don't think that was it. I think that they launched Google Stadia like 3 years too early, 4 years too early, before they even had any first-party titles, before they had even developed the 4K technology, before they had even tested it sufficiently across the world, before they had even done any licensing or had any interesting games other than like Destiny 2. They launched it way too early, and they didn't even develop the technology to integrate it into YouTube, to have that creator say, hey, do you want to play Assassin's Creed with me? Like it said in the trailer video, hit the button and you can jump on Stadia right now with me on the web. They didn't even make the technology yet. And so they launched the platform years too early. And Amazon Luna, I don't know how far along the technology is there, but if they have an integration with Twitch where people can play games on Luna, and, you can integrate that with Twitch, and Twitch streamers can make money off of that by playing on Luna, then now you're in business. Now you can use Twitch as a marketing platform for Luna and a marketing platform for the subscription service, and now that can be something super interesting. Give all Twitch users Luna for free for 3 months. Okay, when you do that, they drop, $100 million on buying some insane exclusive for it. You want to play this insane exclusive? Jump on Luna. Now you're in business with Luna. Now you've caught the attention of the streaming community and the gaming community, and you can use Twitch to market that. If they decide to use the power of Twitch, then the marketing can work. But they need to drop, they need to drop billions into this to make it work. And the big investments that need to happen to get people on Luna are exclusives for Luna that you can't get anywhere else, because the allure of cloud-based gaming technology is not enough. It's not enough value. you might as well just get anything else other than that and have a better gaming experience. You know what I mean?
So when does this actually release? Because all I saw is you can request early access now.
I don't think it says when it's coming.
Because it just feels, I don't know, if like now, like when you got two of the most powerful gaming consoles ever about to come out, and you're Amazon, and you look at that and say, that's who we need to be competing with.
Probably not the best idea. Probably not the best idea.
I see it. We got to go back to our Prime Gaming episode.
Oh.
Okay. This is more of a Xbox Game Pass play in the long term. I mean, right now they're hyping it and this is a centerpiece, but this isn't meant to be this like mainstay piece. This is meant to be wrapped into Prime Gaming. This is meant to be part of Amazon's overall gaming package that you pay a monthly subscription for to get all this different gaming stuff. This is just so that Amazon is getting more monthly revenue from users for providing more services. It doesn't matter if it's good. It doesn't need to be good. It just pads the package. It just makes the package more valuable. So you are willing to pay monthly dollars to Amazon, to Jeff Bezos, to get more of your gaming fix. Having it tied in with Twitch helps with that. Having there be more Prime Gaming features on Twitch helps with that. That's what this is all about. So I see, first I thought, why would Bezos and why would Amazon copy a failed strategy? But that makes sense. They're copying it because it pads their package. It builds up the package more so they get more monthly subscription revenue. It is more of an Xbox Game Pass type eventuality, like delivering in the future, I would say, with the way that they're going to be able to combine things together, especially with these integrations. That's my thought, is where they're taking it. And that, from a business sense, it will work. That will work pretty well.
Pull up the Twitch image on the screen, like scroll up so we can actually see the image, please. Okay, so I'm going to pull this up on the screen. So there's a comment here from Solomonic. Thank you for tuning in live. And so he's saying, it says it integrates into Twitch. Yeah, look at the image, man. Does that look like that's integrating into Twitch? No, that image is not real. They just took an image, a random still of that streamer. They put it over a random still of a video game, and they say, it integrates into Twitch. That is not what, if it really integrated into Twitch, you would see the Luna AI there, or UI there. You would see something that looks like it's actually happening, actually in their technology. So what they're telling you is that, in theory, Luna can theoretically integrate into Twitch, where you can theoretically watch Twitch on it, and you can theoretically play games with Twitch streamers at some point in the future. But you can just literally look at this marketing material right in front of you and see that shit ain't ready today. It's not even close to being ready. They don't even have a concept image to put on their marketing page to even represent what it would actually look like. And Google Stadia did the exact same thing with YouTube. They said it's going to be on YouTube. All the YouTube creators can play on Stadia. And during your playthrough, they promised on Google Stadia, during your playthrough, you can click a button on YouTube. And this is what the people that are running Stadia said. You can click a button and it'll notify everybody who's watching you live on YouTube. And then you can join in the game with the streamer right there using Stadia. That was what they said before the platform launched. That's what Google said before the platform launched. That shit never happened. And maybe it will happen with Luna eventually, but probably not for a while, I would guess. And if it does, it's probably not going to work very well, because that's revolutionary technology that is not ready. And here's another big reason. In order for something like that to work, the companies that they're working with need to put in significant development effort and resources to build the systems so that a streamer can be playing a game, hit a button, and then everybody else can jump in the game in that specific instance in the game. That requires the developer to drop massive resources into all their games to develop their games to be like that. Do you think these developers are going to spend money on that when they're making jack squat from Amazon Luna? No. Of course they're not going to invest the resources into that, because they aren't going to make any money off of this. Now, if Bezos is willing to cut Ubisoft a $200 million check just to play, cool. then maybe they'll be motivated. But no developer is going to make any money off of this for a very, very, very long time. Any other closing thoughts on this, gentlemen?
Hey, I'm at least trying to push the envelope of gaming technology forward. Maybe it's too early, but at least they're pushing. At least they're pushing.
Hey, well, when was the last time you played your Stadia?
I played it on launch week for about 4 hours. I played it at launch week for 4 hours. I tried it on my computer number 1, my computer number 2, and my TV, and it didn't work on any of those 3 on 3 different internet connections. And then I went back and played a month later and tried it on all 3 devices with 3 different internet connections, and it still didn't work. So it's sitting in my closet. I let my 2-year-old play with my Stadia controller now, and he poops on it, he puts paint on it, he throws it out the window, and it's getting more use as a random toy for a 2-year-old.
So he's just a gamer.
He is an epic gamer. I'm a little bit jaded, as you guys can tell from Google Stadia. Amazon Luna, it ain't gonna work. Really quick, guys. Restream.io sponsors this podcast, and the reason why I'm talking about that is if you want to grow your stream, you need to be streaming on everything. Hello Trovo, hello DLive, hello Periscope, YouTube, Twitch. We love all of you. Amazon, we still love you too. Thank you for trying to innovate. I'm sorry this isn't going to work out. If you want to use Restream.io and grow your live stream as fast as possible, do it. Use the link in the description of our video to get $10 off your first month. We get credit if you install, and use code DROP25, DROP25 with no space. That's DROP25 with no space to use Restream.io and get 25% off. Use that money you saved on that to pay for a few months of Luna.